Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I am just so grateful that we get to spend this time together. And we're going to be talking about a subject that is really important and really near and dear to my heart. But before we get into all of that great stuff, let's get ourselves ready to receive this vibration, receive this message by taking a few deep breaths together, helping us to bring our energy into this moment. If you are driving, please keep your eyes open, but you can always bring your awareness to your breath, even if you're driving or walking or whatever you might be doing. And as you start to feel your awareness become more grounded, more centered in this moment, just let yourself think about what you would love to hear today. What's the inspiration that would really light you up this week? And whatever that is, just imagine yourself having already received it and feeling inspired, feeling grateful, feeling motivated and enthusiastic, whatever it might be. And knowing that whatever it is that you need is exactly what you're going to hear today. Let's take one more deep breath in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, my miraculous friend. Well, welcome once again to the podcast. And I'm really, really excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about something that I have noticed has been coming up with many, many of my clients. And maybe this is happening for you. Sometimes I think when I have a lot of my private mentoring clients dealing with something that perhaps a lot of you are dealing with it. So I thought we'd talk about what your heart chakra really needs to be able to manifest your purpose. Now, for those of you who have been listening to my podcast, you know that I look at life purpose a little bit differently. It's not just what you do for a living, although you can definitely take your purpose and turn it into something that you do for a living, as this sign says, anything is possible. I really believe that you can take anything and turn it into a way that you support yourself if you choose to. But the truth is that you've been doing your purpose since the day you first took your breath, your very first breath. The day that you were born, you began to experience your purpose, because your purpose is not about your job. It's about what your soul came here to experience. I have a whole service that I do that's called the Sacred Life Purpose Session, where we talk to all 7 of the energy centers, and each one has something to tell you about your sacred life purpose. And it's a little bit more than we can go into today. But suffice it to say that the root chakra, the very first energy center, tells you what your soul came here to embody, what your soul came here to experience. And that is from day one. Your soul's not going to wait until you graduate from high school, graduate from college, get a PhD. Day one, your soul is like, I'm here. Let me experience whatever this is. Well, when we think about manifesting our purpose, a lot of us are thinking about jobs and those kinds of things. But what I'm going to tell you is the most important thing about your heart center is it's the key to fulfillment. Your heart center is the key to fulfillment. So even when I do my sacred life purpose sessions, and I go through all the chakras. So your first chakra tells you what you came here to embody. Your second chakra tells you what your archetypes are. Your archetypes are similar to like your sun sign, your moon sign, that type of thing. It tells you how you are uniquely expressing whatever you came here to embody. Your third chakra is going to tell you who's on your team, may even tell you if you have a special assignment. Your heart chakra, we have to get to that heart chakra, because you can be doing all those things. But if you don't know your deepest heart's desire, that is the key to fulfillment. So we've seen people who have success, they have families, they have children, maybe they've been, doing whatever creative endeavor that, like, whatever it might be. But if they haven't heard the still small voice of their heart whispering to them, there's something that everybody on the planet really wants to experience, really wants, and that's the key to fulfillment. And so I believe that a lot of people, when they say to me, what's my purpose? What they're really asking me is, how can I feel fulfilled? What is it? I feel like there's something inside of me. And if it was a specific thing like writing a book, you'd write the book and you'd be done. But how many people write a book and feel like they're done? I've written a book and I'm definitely not done. The key is that deep heart's desire. So when I'm working with my own clients, part of what I do is I intuitively dialogue with the energy field. And I always tell my clients it's a three-way conversation. I'm going to be coaching you. I'm going to be giving you my experience and my feedback. You're going to be telling me about what you've noticed. And then we're going to look at your energy field and find out what your energy field wants to tell us. It's so important. And then, of course, I channel Mother Mary's energy over here. And Mother Mary gives us what I call the bird's eye view or the X-ray vision of what's really, really going on. And so there's many layers of work when I'm working with people. But I've noticed a trend that I want to talk to you about, and it's really important. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling a little bit lost with what's my purpose, what can I do? Your purpose, your heart center will speak to you. We've heard that still small voice, right? The still small voice. We talk about the still small voice of God. And sometimes people think that when they have an experience of the divine, it's going to be lightning and we're going to hear angels singing and it's going to be really dramatic. And even with great masters like Paramahansa Yogananda, it's rarely really dramatic unless you're having the actual awakening experience. When the divine is speaking to us, it speaks to us through our heart center. It whispers to us through the things that would make us happy, the things that would bring us joy, the things that we would just absolutely love. But there's a problem if your third chakra isn't strong. Okay. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The main energy centers are right there. And they're there for a reason. It's not that it's a hierarchy, it's that they all build on each other. So, for example, your root chakra is the first one, and it's the seat of your body temple. Well, if you don't have a body, it's really difficult to do any of the upper level work in your energy centers because you're not on the physical plane. And many spiritual paths teach us that the purpose of the physical plane is to work out whatever we're here to work out and to awaken. And you have to have a body to do that. So if you don't have your root chakra, if you don't have a body, can't really do all the other things. And so they all support each other. So we start with the root chakra, we start with the second chakra after that. And the third chakra is the one that I see people, especially women, especially highly sensitive women, highly creative women, have the most difficulty with. The third chakra is known as the solar plexus, and it is your relationship with yourself. I call it the power center. It looks like the energy of the sun. It's this beautiful yellow color, but it's not like a pale yellow. It's like vibrant yellow, like the sun. And it literally is the sun within you. That's why it's called the solar plexus. It's your ability to shine your light in the world. Very often, when people are talking about the chakras in a mundane way, they'll talk about it in terms of, well, this is your career center, which, yeah, it can be your career center. That's one of the things. But it's really your relationship with yourself, your self-esteem, your self-worth. It's the seat of the mental body. What are you saying to yourself? Are you able to have boundaries? Are you honoring yourself? Are you honoring your gifts? All of these things. Now, there's two things I see with people. One is if their energy center shows up as having a challenge, which is how I like to talk about it. I don't use the word block because I don't really believe that's an accurate term. But if it's shown that it has a challenge, it's not quite as open, it's not quite as vibrant as it could be, usually it's one of two things. Either that energy is deficient and depleted, and that can come from not being strong enough, having weakness. Maybe you've had an illness. It can come from adrenal exhaustion, where people have worked and worked and worked, and then the energy kind of collapses in on itself. And then we're in an energy of depletion, and then we really have to build you up. And I don't know that until I look at somebody's energy. But the one that's much more common, and I want you to lean in and I want you to listen, because this is probably you. 90% of the people that I work with, this is the case, is it's not that it's depleted, it's that you have put a block in front of it. You have said, no, 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 I don't want my light to shine so much. I'm afraid that I'm going to get negative attention. I'm afraid of my own power. whatever it might be. And so that wall, that door that ends up being in front of your third chakra, instead of having to build up your energy, we have to give you permission to open the door. We have to help you to feel safe, letting that beautiful light shine. And so when the third chakra is in any way compromised, when it's not having the strength, whether it's from depletion or it's from that kind of closed door energy, here's some of the things that happen. So people come to me and they'll say, "Oh, Reverend Francis, I really want to do my purpose. I want to know my heart's desire. I can feel it. There's something in me that really wants to come out, but I don't know what it is." Have you ever said that to yourself? There's something, but I don't know what it is. And I'm going to give you a little tough love, my friend. Yes, you do. You know exactly what it is. Now, you may not know how you're going to pull it off. You may not know how it's going to manifest. You may not know how to make money doing it. We've had this conversation many times here on the podcast. It's not the same thing as I don't know. So, this is what happens. Your beautiful heart center is communicating to you all the time by saying, "I would love that. That looks like fun. Oh, I want to take that trip to Mexico. Oh, I would love to write that book. I want to take that class. I want to learn how to cook. I want to spend more time with my sweetie." These are all the still small voice of your heart center, the center of your deepest wisdom, whispering to you and saying, you see a commercial on TV and you're like, "Oh, Caribbean vacation. I want to swim with the dolphins." And if your third chakra is not strong, if it's not balanced, if it's not healthy, immediately it's going to negate whatever comes in. And it's going to say, if you see like, "Oh, I want to go swim with the dolphins in the Caribbean," it's going to say, "Well, you don't know how to swim. How do you know that that's safe? You don't have the money to do that. You don't know anybody. That's the craziest thing I've heard." And then the heart goes, it's like the air coming out of a balloon. And when this happens day after day after day, when you start to ask yourself, "What would I love?" You don't have an answer because your heart is defeated. Your heart's like, "Oh, she's not going to listen to me." And you've been telling yourself so long that the thing that you would love, you can't, either you can't have it or you don't really love it. That's not what you really want. That's not practical. What would people say? This is the inner dialogue. And we have to handle it because what it's really showing you is that there's a weakness in your third chakra. There's a weakness in the solar plexus. So I tell my clients, and I'm telling you right now, like, you can do all this work on the heart center. And if she's not being supported below by a healthy third chakra, by healthy self-esteem, it's really, really difficult because your third chakra is not supporting you and it's not allowing you to step into it. So what would it look like if you had a healthy third chakra? What would that look like? And what are some things that you can do to get yourself there? Well, first of all, remember that these are ingrained patterns. These are probably things that you heard from the time you were just a little boy or a little girl. You probably came home and maybe you had a drawing and you were like, "Mommy, mommy, look, I want to be a painter," or "I'm going to be an artist." And maybe your mom was having a bad day, or maybe your dad wanted to be an artist too and heard from his dad, like, "Our artists don't make money," or something like that. And maybe just, on a off moment, they looked at you and they couldn't take it in. And they said something to you like, "What is it?" Or, "I don't know what that is." Or, "Oh, honey, artists don't make money," or who knows what. They could have told you anything. And even if energetically, they didn't say anything to you, but maybe they ignored you or they didn't take it in. They're sending a message, and the message that you get in your subconscious mind is, "That's silly. No one's going to love me if I talk about what's true for me. I'm not going to get my needs met. Maybe maybe I don't know what I'm doing." Um, I've heard it from my clients and myself so many times. And it starts the pattern of negating ourselves. And then where people get lost, and I've talked about this before, people get lost in the land of how. How am I going to do it? And they don't know how, and so they don't even begin. But I'll tell you, my friend, how is not your job. Your job is just to take a small step and begin. So if you know that third chakra, it can be really challenging to do it on your own. I really recommend you work with somebody. You can work with someone like me. You can go to a 12-step group. You can go to a group therapy thing. You can work one-on-one with a counselor. It doesn't matter, whatever path works for you, because you know what the third chakra needs? It needs somebody to mirror to it, to look at it and go, you can do it. Because it's never, as I say, it's never too late to have a happy childhood. It's never too late to get what you needed when you were younger. This is why your environment is so important to you. It's so important that you have people around you that mirror to you that you're amazing and that you're fabulous and that you can do it. And one of the things I love in the work that I do, and there's many, many people out there doing amazing work. So please don't think I'm telling you that you can only work with me. There's many people doing amazing work. But the work that I do and that I love so much is giving people feedback every week and helping them see their progress. Because one of the things that'll happen is somebody will manifest something. And maybe it's an opportunity. I just had one of my clients, I call her the $10,000 miracle woman, that as soon as she said yes to the truth of who she was, she got a $10,000 client the next week, I think it was. And she was on the verge of going, isn't that a coincidence? And I was like, no, that's not a coincidence. That's not a synchronicity. That's you letting your solar plexus shine. That's you saying yes to your energy and not needing to keep a lid on it so that other people don't feel uncomfortable around you. Your solar plexus is the light of God wanting to shine in the world. It's wanting to take all these beautiful gifts that you have and let them be made visible in whatever way that is for you. And in order to do that, you have to feel good about yourself. And it's not in an arrogant way, it's not in an egotistical way. The truth is that true humility is knowing that God is the doer. It's not really you. You're the channel. It's coming through you. And you're giving God access to your eyes and your ears and your talent and your hands and your feet and whatever it might be. And you're saying, God, use me. It's a beautiful prayer of St. Francis, make me an instrument of your peace. But you don't even have to say that. You can just say, God, use me, use my talents today. I give my talent to you so that you can make the world a brighter place. And when you have that confidence that you have that connection with the divine, then your third chakra is going to support your heart chakra. And when that voice comes that says, oh, I would love to learn salsa dancing, your third chakra says, let's look it up. Let's see if there's any salsa classes around us. Maybe there's online salsa classes. I wonder if my husband or my wife would want to do that with me. The third chakra is now supporting, because remember that third chakra is your mind. It's the power of your mind. It's your thoughts. So if your first thought is, well, that's a stupid idea, then your heart chakra is going to collapse. But if your third chakra, if your thoughts are like, what if I can do it? What if it's possible? I really recommend that you have somebody in your life. And believe me, it's not easy to find. It's one of the reasons that we started the Magnify Your Miracles membership, is to have people have friends, spiritual friends who are on this path of being channels of light in the world, that you have people that you can talk to and say, I had this idea. It might sound crazy, but I think I might want to incorporate salsa dancing into my business. Or maybe I want to just do salsa dancing on the weekends just for fun. You want to have people around you go, oh, I can totally see you doing that. You can absolutely do that. That is an amazing idea. How fun. Maybe I'll do that. That's the difference of having a healthy third chakra. You have people around you. So I'm going to say to you, my friends, before we close, I'm going to say, think about the people that you do have in your life. If you have a lot of naysayers, if you have people who are kind of mired in their own negativity, people that aren't doing their purpose, people that aren't living up to their potential. They aren't sharing their light. We can love those people, but please don't share your deepest desires and your dreams with them, because here's what happens: because they're not allowing themselves to live their life and shine their light, they can't support you in doing it, even if they want to. It's usually too painful. It's too painful. I've seen this. It's the saddest thing where, parents didn't fulfill their dreams. They didn't write that book. They didn't finish that song. They didn't start painting, whatever it might be. And then they have a child who has inherited all of their talent, but they don't have those negative beliefs, and that child is like, hey, I am going to finish that book, I am going to write that song, I am going to paint that picture. And it can bring up a sting for people of like, oh, I didn't do it, did I? And unfortunately, for people that aren't aware, they can actually try to squish the child's dream, and they think they're being helpful. They'll say things like, well, that's not an easy industry, or you're going to have to do something else on the side, or, whatever it might be. It's their story, it's their own pain, and it's okay. But you don't want to take your newly formed, you're listening to the whisper of that deep heart's desire. You're listening to the whisper of the divine within you. You're listening to the energy of love within you, wanting to express and saying, what about salsa dancing? What about oil painting? What about learning to play the banjo? What about climbing the Appalachian Trail? What about learning how to be a French cook? What about, what about, what about? It's whispering to you every day, because until you've said you've let go of your last breath, that voice is not going to let you go. And it's one of the things that they don't tell us when we're younger is what you love, you're going to love for the whole rest of your life, and it's never going to let you go. And so how can you start saying yes to what it is that you love? Don't talk about it in front of people who are not happy and living their lives. Chances are they're not going to be able to support you. And they might want to, but they're probably not going to be able to. So seek out support, even if that support is listening to this podcast, or it's going to the library and getting some motivational books, or it's getting on YouTube and watching other people who are doing something similar. Or maybe it's joining a Facebook group of people that are learning salsa dancing or whatever it might be. Or maybe it's committing to actually getting the support that you need and working with someone like me, or like I said, in a group, or however you are wired. Your dream is too important. That still small voice, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to keep saying to you, what about this? I would love that. Oh, the Caribbean. Oh, I really want to grow my own herbs. It's going to keep asking you to express more and more of what would make you happy. That is the nature of the universe. It's always looking to expand and express. So if you really want to be manifesting your purpose, if you really want to be saying yes to your heart, you need to have the strength and the support to say yes to that whisper in whatever way you can, and see it as an adventure. And if you know that you have that third chakra that's going to start doing the naysaying thing, it's going to tell you, you're not good enough and blah, blah, blah. And if you haven't done it by now, you're not going to do it, and blah, blah, blah. Reach out. If you know that that's an issue, start working with that self-esteem. Start doing some things that make you feel proud of yourself. Start taking action. I was just telling one of my clients last week, she's got this very same issue. And I said, the medicine of the third chakra is empowerment. Empowerment is the medicine of the third chakra. What can you do to empower yourself today? Can you set a boundary? Can you keep your word and follow through on something? What can you do that is an empowering thing? Can you ask for something that you want? Maybe you want to ask for a raise. Maybe you want to ask somebody out for a date. What can you do to empower yourself? That's the medicine. of the third chakra. The medicine of the heart chakra is encouragement. It's encouragement. The heart chakra needs to be encouraged. It needs to hear, you can do it. I believe in you. Why not give it a try? See what happens. That's the medicine of the heart chakra. So empowerment and encouragement. You put those two together, my friend, and you will be unstoppable. And I can't wait to hear about all the things that are going to be happening for you as you empower yourself and you encourage yourself. Now, as always, if you would love a little bit of help, you know I offer complimentary miracle meetings. Miracle meetings are a time to see, are we a fit? What's the next step for you? It's not a coaching session. It's not like it's a free coaching type of thing. It's a chance for you and I to talk to each other and to really listen for what's trying to happen here. Would coaching be the right thing for you? What would be the right thing for you? What is it that's trying to shine through you? So I'm going to put a link in the show notes. And if you would like to set up a miracle meeting with me to see what it would be like and whether or not you're ready to say yes to that powerful energy that's wanting to come through you, I would love to talk with you, my friend. So one of my favorite topics, talking about the chakras, talking about helping you say yes to that still small voice. Remember that the key to magnifying your miracles is to know that your miracle is already here. We just have to say yes to it. That's the secret. All right, my friend, thank you so much. If you love this episode, I would love it if you could leave a review on iTunes or wherever it is that you get your podcast. If you're on YouTube, I would love it if you could leave a review. That makes a really big difference for me. Let me know your thoughts about this. I'd love to hear your comments as well. And as always, please tell your friends and let them know that they can get some weekly inspiration from the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. God bless you, my friend. Have a great week. Bye-bye.